Hello everybody and welcome back. In today's video we got another game review recap to discuss. We're discussing all the games that have happened on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. We're looking ahead to the games that are going to be happening on Tuesday and Wednesday. And we're going to be looking at how the standings shape up after the past couple of days. We'll get to all that coming up right now. Hello everybody and welcome back to another video here at the Internet Talking Channel. Before we begin this video, don't forget to like this video and subscribe down below. We have hit 200 subscribers. Thank you for all of your support. I would never be able to do it with all of you guys. So don't forget to subscribe so we can hit 250 subscribers. But going to a regular scheduled video here, I'm going to be doing another game review recap today. We're going to be doing for the Saturday games, Sunday games, and Monday games. We had a ton of games over the weekend. We had 13 games on Saturday, followed by 5 games on Sunday and Monday. So we're going to have a lot of games here to discuss. And we're going to be looking ahead to the games that are happening on Tuesday and Wednesday, plus the standings update, seeing how the standings shape up as of right now. So we'll get to all those coming up right now. We're going to start with the game reviews that happened on Saturday. A lot of good action that happened on Saturday. There were 13 games, so start with the lone early game that was happened on Saturday, and that was between the Minnesota Wild and the Vancouver Canucks. Really good game. Wild opened the scoring late in the first. Canucks would tie a game late in the second. It was a really close game between these two teams, and then after that, this will go to a shootout, where in the shootout, the Minnesota Wild would come away with a huge 2-1 shootout victory. So it was a really close game. These two teams matched up pretty well, just like they did last time when the Canucks shut them out about a week and a half ago, and now this time it was the Wild to come away on top. Very good win there for the Wild. Minnesota improves to 12-12-4. Vancouver drops to 29-2. So not great stuff there for the Canucks, but they still get a point out of this, and they're still rolling along right now while the Wild get back to it 500, so really good stuff there. For the Wild, the lone goal scorer in regulation was Frederick Gaudreau, while Zuccarello was the lone shootout goal scorer, and Blueger was the lone goal scorer for the Canucks in the loss. So really good game there from both sides. Really close, tightly contested affair, but was the Wild to come away with the shootout win in this one, and with the win, the Wild do improve to 12-12-4 and are back up to 500. So really good stuff there from Minnesota. Then we saw New Jersey Devils play Columbus Blue Jackets. A really close game early on. This was a really good tight back and forth game. It was 3-2 at one point, but the Devils would pull ahead, and then Jack Hughes' hat trick. Now Jack Hughes would score his first goal of the game, which was the opener if I'm correct. He would also score his second goal of the game, which was the fourth if I'm correct, and I think that was his 100th goal of his NHL career, and then he also scored the hat trick goal, which was the final goal of the game to basically ace this one as 6-3 score. So he was having a fantastic game, hat trick for him. He continues to produce really well. He scored the 6th and final goal, as you can see. I remember all clips created Sportsnet, and he did fantastic. The Devils were able to double up the Blue Jackets 6-3. It was also the 100th hat trick the New Jersey Devils have had in franchise history, so really good stuff there. And this was a really great game there from the Devils, who continue to find the ways to win. Devils are now up to 16-11-1, and their time of being around the 500 mark is now long gone. They're looking a lot better now. Jackets may all drop to 10-17-5, so not great stuff there. For the New Jersey Devils, like we said, Hughes had a hat trick, got his 100th NHL goal. Bratt had 3 assists. Toffoli and Hischier both had a goal and an assist. And Haula also scored for the Devils in the win, while Marchenko, Chinakhov, and Texier were the 3 goal scorers for the Jackets in the loss. So not a great game there for the Jackets, getting doubled up on. They continue to lose. I know there's a lot of uneasiness around the Jackets fan base right now as they continue to slip, but this is a really good win there for the Devils, who continue to climb the Metro Division standings. Then we saw the Toronto Maple Leafs and Kyle Dubas' return to Toronto as GM of the Pittsburgh Penguins. Absolutely smacked the Pittsburgh Penguins. A thrashing. The Pittsburgh Penguins got destroyed 7-0. An absolutely fantastic win there for the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Leafs were able to get a Gordie Howe hat trick from Knies, which really helped this team, as the Maple Leafs improved to 16-6-6, dropping the Pittsburgh Penguins to 13-13-3. So the Penguins dropped to 500, while the Leafs improved to 10 games above 500, so really good stuff there for the Leafs. Domi, a goal and 2 assists, and Bertuzzi, 3 assists, both had 3-point nights. Marner, Knies, Nylander all had a goal and an assist, and Tavares, McMahon, who scored his first career NHL goal, and Gregor also scored for the Leafs in the win, and Martin Jones stopped all 38 shots he faced in the shutout for the Toronto Maple Leafs. So really great game there for Martin Jones, who is right now in as the backup for the Maple Leafs with the injury to Woll, so he had a really good game there. Penguins didn't really get much offense going. The Leafs really built up a huge lead, and they were never able to come back. So this was a fantastic game from the Leafs, one of the more complete efforts I've seen from them all season, as they continue continue to be a top 3 team in the Atlantic Division, while the Pittsburgh Penguins get thrashed, and they're back down to 500. So really bad stuff there for Pittsburgh. Then we saw the Montreal Canadiens storm out to a 4-0 lead over the Islanders. Looked to run away with this one, but the Islanders would start to work their way back. Islanders were able to make it a 4-3 game at one point, but the Canadiens would get an empty netter and ice the game, beating the New York Islanders 5-3. A really good win there for Montreal Canadiens. At that point, they were back up to 500, 13-13-4, while the New York Islanders dropped to 14-8-8. So not great stuff there from the Islanders. Their point streak came to an end at 8 games, so not great stuff there for the Islanders, and the Canadiens once again found themselves at the 500 mark. So for the Canadiens, Anderson scored twice, Suzuki, Monahan, and Barron all had 2 assists, and Caulfield, Armia, and Dvorak also scored for the Canadiens in the win, while Dobson had 3 assists, Nelson scored twice, and Horvat also scored for the Islanders in the loss. So it was not a great game there from the Islanders. They do fall. It was a really bad loss in this one, and it was to the Montreal Canadiens. So not great stuff there as the Islanders point streak comes to an end, but still really good stuff there from the Canadiens to get back up to the 500 mark. Then we saw the Winnipeg Jets absolutely deck the Colorado Avalanche 6-2. It was a fantastic game there from the Winnipeg Jets. They definitely did a really good job in this one in a battle of 2 of the top Central Division teams. And I think for the time being after this game, the Jets really did take over the Central Division title too. So Jets continue to do really, really good this year. They improved to 18-9-2, dropping the Colorado Avalanche to 18-10-2. So with the Jets having a game in hand, they were ahead of them. So really good stuff there for Winnipeg to tie for first in the Central Division. Velarde scored twice. He continues to really produce after coming back from injury. The Mesnikov, Ehlers, and Iafallo all had a goal and an assist. Morrissey and Scheifele had 2 assists. And Niederreiter also scored for the Jets in the win, while McKinnon had 2 assists, and Drouin and Johansson also scored for the Avalanche in the loss. So not a great game there from the Avalanche. Definitely they have not played overly well over the past couple of games. Definitely a little bit on a sour streak at this point in time, but a really good win there for the Jets as they continue to do well. And this is the second time, if I'm correct, in the past couple of weeks that the Winnipeg Jets have found a way to beat the Colorado Avalanche. So really good stuff there. Jets continue to find ways to beat extremely good teams, and they improved to tie first in the Central at that point in time. Then we saw a couple of lower scoring games. The Boston Bruins opened the scoring, but just like a couple of games ago against New Jersey Devils, they would give up the game-tying goal in the 3rd period, and then give up the OT winner, as the Rangers would come from behind, beating the Boston Bruins 2-1 in overtime in a battle of 2 of the best teams in the Eastern Conference. The Rangers would improve to 21-7-1. Really good win there for the Rangers to improve their record, while the Bruins dropped to 19-5-5. Both teams are at 43 points now, but the Rangers are still the only team of those 2 who have reached the 20-win mark, so really good stuff there for the Rangers. Trocheck scored both goals, so the game-tying goal in the 3rd period, plus this goal here, which was the OT winner. A really good win there for the New York Rangers, but that was a really good OT winner for the Trocheck in the win. And Frederick was the lone goal scorer for the Bruins in the loss. So really good win there. Trocheck's really turned on the heaters as of late, really doing some really good stuff. So really good win there for the Rangers and really good stuff there for Trocheck. For the Bruins, give up the late game tying goal, give up the OT winner. They're not playing as good as they could have, but it's another loss for them. They continue on with their point streak, but they do get another loss. So really bad stuff there for the Bruins. Then we saw the Flyers wind up shutting out the Detroit Red Wings in an extremely low-scoring game, 1-0. The Flyers were able to improve to 17-10-3. Another great game there from their goaltenders, while the Detroit Red Wings dropped to 15-11-4, and they continue to fall a little bit as of late. So not great stuff there for the Red Wings. York was the lone goal scorer in the win for the Flyers, and Urson stopped all 33 shots he faced in the shutout and the win. So another really great game there from some of the Flyers goaltenders. Urson showing again and again that he looks like a really good goalie of the future, so really good stuff there for Philly. Meanwhile, Detroit loses another one. They fall a little bit lower in the Atlantic standings, so not great news there, and they could definitely use a little bit more confidence. So bad stuff there for the Red Wings to fall a little bit further. Then we saw the Nashville Predators. They were able to break a 1-1 tie. The second period got a late insurance marker, and were able to beat the Washington Capitals 3-1. They are now 5 games above 500 at 18-13-0, and they dropped the Washington Capitals to 14-9-4. So not great stuff there for the Washington Capitals, but it was a really great game there from the Nashville Predators. The Preds have now won 7 of 8. So really fantastic stuff there from Nashville. They were able to get goals from Sissons, Trennan, and Tomasino, the 3 goal scorers for the Nashville Predators in the win, while Oshie was a lone goal scorer for the Caps in the loss. So now a great game there from the Caps. It was a really close game again. Their defense once again kept them in there, but they're still having a little bit of trouble scoring. Meanwhile, for the Nashville Predators, really great game there. They continue to improve their lead for the first wildcard spot in the Central Division, and they're not too far behind teams like Dallas, Colorado, and Winnipeg for top top 3 spot. So really good stuff there for Nashville. Then we saw the St. Louis Blues in a back and forth game get a late game tying goal, and then the OT winner to beat the Dallas Stars 4-3 in overtime. They've now won back-to-back games with their new head coach, improving to 15-14-1. Dropping the Dallas Stars to 17-8-4. So not great stuff there from Dallas as they lose a tiny bit of ground in the Central Division, but they are able to wind up getting a point out of this one. And the Blues, meanwhile, continue to contend for a wildcard spot. So really good stuff there for the Blues. Cairo had a 3-pointer with a goal and 2 assists. Hayes had a goal and an assist. Thomas and Krug both had 2 assists. And Saad Pareko, who was the OT winner, also scored for the Blues in the win. While Delandrea, Marchman, and Dodonov were 3 goal scorers for the Stars in the loss. So not a great game there from the Dallas Stars. Definitely one they could have easily won, but they give it the late game tying goal, and they at least get a point out of this one, but not something you really want to see if you're a Stars fan. Meanwhile, a really resilient win for the Blues, and they've now won back-to-back games with their new head coach. Really good stuff there for St. Louis. Then we saw the Arizona Coyotes have a really good performance. Day after shutting out the San Jose Sharks 1-0 with Connor Ingram, they shut out the Buffalo Sabres 2-0 with Karel Vejmelka. A very fantastic game there from the Arizona Coyotes. Arizona was able to improve their record to 15-13-2 after their second in a back-to-back shutouts. Meanwhile, the Buffalo Sabres dropped to 13-16-3. So a very fantastic win there for the Arizona Coyotes as they continue to show they can really shut out some of the better teams and have a really good goaltending tandem with Ingram and Vejmelka. Keller and O'Brien were 2 goal scorers for the Coyotes in the win, and Vejmelka stopped all 22 shots he faced in the shutout and the victory for the Arizona Coyotes. So it was a very fantastic win there for the Arizona Coyotes. They improved to keeping a playoff spot. They're keeping just ahead of St. Louis right now, and they're looking really good at 2 games above 500. So really good stuff there. Although the Sabres do fall 3 games below 500, not great stuff there for themselves. Then we saw the Calgary Flames double up the Tampa Bay Lightning 4-2, a very good, impressive win there. The Flames were able to finally end their losing streak. They improved to 12-14-5, while the Bolts dropped down to 14-13-5 and now only a game above 500. So not great stuff there for the Tampa Bay Lightning. For the Flames, Osterley had 2 assists, and Uyghur Sharangovich, who scored in his 5th straight game for the Calgary Flames. AJ Greer and Connor Zary were the 4 goal scorers for the Calgary Flames in the win, while Kucherov had 2 assists, and Point and Stamkos were 2 goal scorers for the Tampa Bay Lightning in the loss. So not a great game there for Tampa. They found themselves in a 3-0 hole, could never find their way back from it. So not great stuff there from Tampa to dig themselves into that big of a hole, and it definitely cost them the game. But still, it was a really good game there from the Tampa Bay Lightning to keep it close. But it was the Flames who come away with the victory and finally end their losing streak. Then we saw the Edmonton Oilers get absolutely demolished by the Florida Panthers 5-1. Back-to-back losses now for Edmonton. The Florida team seem to be Edmonton's kryptonite this year. They just can't beat the Florida teams. The Panthers with the win improved to 18-10-2, while the Oilers with the loss dropped now back down to below 500 at 13-14-1. So not great stuff there from the Edmonton Oilers. For Florida, Verhaeghe had 2 goals and 8 assists. Bennett had a goal and 2 assists. Both had 3-point nights. Montour had a goal and 8 assists. OEL had 2 assists. And Barkov also scored for the Panthers in the win, while Hyman was the lone goal scorer for the Oilers in the loss. So Hyman continues to produce well. He continues to be a really good bright spot for the Edmonton Oilers team, but the Panthers really dominated from start to finish in this game, got an early lead, never really looked back, and this was a really fantastic win for Florida. And then we saw the LA Kings edge out the Seattle Kraken 3-2 in a shootout. This was actually a really close game. The Kraken are starting to play a little bit better, starting to get a little bit more points in all their games, so that's really good news to see. But it was a really close game between the Kings and the Kraken. Kings were able to get a 2-1 lead. They would hold on to that for most of the game, but then the Kraken would get a late game tying goal sent into extra time where the Kings would win in this shootout. So really good stuff there for the Kings, who improved to 17-6-4, while the Kraken dropped to 10-14-8. So not great stuff there for Seattle. For the Kings, Kopitar and Moore were the 2 regulation goal scorers, and Kempe, Kaliev, Lewis, and the shootout winner in Grenstrom were the 4 shootout goal scorers for the Kings in the win. While for the Kraken, Larson and Bjorkström were 2 goal regulation goal scorers, and Yamamoto, Gord, and Beniers were 3 shootout goal scorers for the Kraken in the loss. So not great stuff there for the Kraken. A really close game. Could have possibly won this one, but was a really close shootout loss against a really good Kings team. So I think they would take that, and they extend their point streak to 3 games. Well, it was a huge win for the Kings to get back in the win column. So good stuff there for both sides. Those are all the 13 games that happened on Saturday. Going over to the 5 games that happened on Sunday, we saw the Vancouver Canucks score 3 unanswered goals after finding themselves down 2-1 early in the second against Chicago Blackhawks. They would take a 4-2 5-2 lead and held on for a 4-3 victory over the Chicago Blackhawks, Bedard's first game against his hometown team. So that was a really good game there for the Vancouver Canucks, who improved to 21-9-2 and drop the Chicago Blackhawks to 9-20-1. So not bad stuff there from the Vancouver Canucks. The Canucks were able to get Miller and Myers, both have 2 assists, while Mikheyev, Pettersson, Joshua, and Besser were the 4 goal scorers for the Canucks in the win. And for the Chicago Blackhawks, Foligno scored twice, Bedard had 2 assists, and Gutman also scored for the Blackhawks in the loss. So not a great game there from the Blackhawks. Kept it close against one of the better teams in the league. Really good stuff there. But then now 11 games below 500 and have lost 20 in regulation. So really bad stuff there for the Chicago Blackhawks, but a really good win there for the Canucks, who are now up to 21-9-2, and at this point in time are currently the second best team in the NHL, only behind the division rival Golden Knights. So that's a really good stuff there for Vancouver. They continue to find ways to win, even when they shouldn't, and they are doing extraordinarily well this year. So a really good win there for Vancouver. Then we go over to our next game on Sunday, as the Washington Capitals were able to win a narrow game over the Carolina Hurricanes. Really close, really tightly contested affair. The Canes would open the scoring, Caps would tie it up. This game would go to a shootout at a 1-1 score, where the Capitals would wind up winning. So a really close game, but the Capitals were able to just narrowly edge out the Carolina Hurricanes 2-1. Caps improved to 15-9-4. Canes dropped to 16-12-3. So not great stuff there for Carolina, but a really close game. For the Washington Capitals, Faravallo was the lone goal scorer in regulation, and Kuznetsov the lone scorer in the shootout, while Al was the lone goal scorer for the Canes in the shootout loss. So not great stuff there for the Hurricanes. They find themselves on the losing end of another close extra time game, but they do wind up getting a point out of this one. They do keep their point streak going, which is really good news for the Carolina Hurricanes. Well, for the Capitals, a really good win there after losing to the Nashville Predators, and they're now 6 games back above 500. So good stuff there for Washington. Then we saw the Anaheim Ducks avoid losing their 13th of 14 games, end their losing streak, finally get a win, and destroy the New Jersey Devils 5-1. It was a very fantastic game for the Anaheim Ducks, to improve to 11-19-0, and the Devils do have an off night here, dropping to 16-12-1. So really bad loss there for the Devils. But the Ducks win was led by a hat trick from Adam Henrique. Henrique had his first career NHL hat trick, which really surprises me. I'm quite surprised he had his first career NHL hat trick this late in his career, given his long and great career that he's had so far. He scored the first goal of the game, the second goal of the game, and this goal here, which was the 5th goal of the game. Very fantastic goals to give them a 1-0 lead, a 2-0 lead, and this one to put it to bed at 5-1. So really good stuff there from Adam Henrique, who had a fantastic game in this one. So really good stuff to see him get his hat trick. Killorn also had a 3-point night with a goal and 2 assists. Terry had a goal and an assist, and Minyakov and Fowler both had 2 assists for Ducks in the win, while McLeod was lone goal scorer for Devils in the loss. So an off night for the Devils, get really beat up, and it was definitely the former Devil and Adam Henrique who really did a lot of the damage. Really good stuff there for the Anaheim Ducks. Then we saw the Colorado Avalanche steamroll the San Jose Sharks 6-2, becoming the first 40-point team in the Central Division. The absolutely dominating win for the Avalanche, who improved to 19-10-2, dropping the San Jose Sharks to 9-19-3. So not great stuff there for the Sharks. For the Avalanche, McKinnon had a 4-point night with 2 goals and 2 assists. Duran had 2 assists, and Johansson, Nichushkin, Wood, and Rannon also scored for the Avalanche in the win, while Hurdle scored both goals, and Granlund had 2 assists for the Sharks in the loss. So not a great game there from the San Jose Sharks. Definitely one they probably want to put in the rearview mirror, but still, it was a really good game there from the Avalanche. McKinnon continues his point streak, and he continues to be a very dominant force for the Avalanche. And then we also saw on Sunday the Golden Knights double up the Ottawa Senators 6-3. Very good win there for the Knights to improve to 21-6-5, dropping the Ottawa Senators to 11-15-0. This game led to the firing of DJ Smith. Not great stuff there from the Ottawa Senators. For Golden Knights, Stone had 3 assists, Eichel and Barbashev had a goal and an assist, Hutton had 2 assists, and Roy, Stevenson, Carlson, and Marshall also scored for the Golden Knights in the win. While for the Senators, Norris had a goal and an assist, and Kachuk and Gregg also scored for the Senators in the loss. Not a great game there for the Senators. Definitely one they probably really wanted to have back. They're up 2-1 early in this game, so they really shouldn't have lost that badly. But this game got away from them, and the Vegas Golden Knights were able to absolutely destroy them. So Knights continue to improve their lead in the Pacific Division. Those are all games that happened on Sunday. Those are the 5 Sunday games. Going over to the games that happened on Monday. Yesterday we saw the Pittsburgh Penguins go out to a 3-0 lead over the Minnesota Wild. Really good lead there, but they would end up giving up 3 straight goals. Wild would tie the game up before the Penguins were able to get a 4th goal thanks to Sidney Crosby to give them a 4-3 victory over the Minnesota Wild. Very close game, almost blew this game, but it was a win for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Huge win there too. They improved to 14-13-3, dropping the Wild back down to below 500, 12-13-4. So not great stuff there for the Wild. The Penguins were able to get a goal and an assist from Gensel, Malkin, and Crosby. Pettersson and Pustainen both had 2 assists, and Riley Smith also scored for the Penguins in the win, while Terry, Middleton, and Hartman were 3 goal scorers for the Wild in the loss. So not a great game there from the Wild. Definitely not great to dig themselves into the interesting hole. They improved. They were able to get back up to a level game, which was absolutely phenomenal, but it's not enough as Crosby continues to be fantastic, and this helped the Penguins win this game. So really good stuff there for Pittsburgh. Then we saw the Anaheim Ducks jump out to a 4-1 lead over the Detroit Red Wings. The Red Wings will score a couple of late goals, but the Ducks did hold on and were able to get a huge 4-3 victory over the Detroit Red Wings. Now back-to-back wins, which is stunning. It's been a while since they've had back-to-back wins. They improved to 12-19-0, dropping the Red Wings to 15-12-4. So Red Wings continue to fall a little bit. They're now closer to 500. Not great stuff there. For the Ducks, Henrique and Terry both had a goal and an assist, and Gudas and Minyakov both also scored for the Ducks in the win. Well, the Brinkett scored twice. Kane had Goss and Spear both had 2 assists, and Petrie also scored for the Red Wings in the loss. So not a great game there from the Red Wings. Definitely one where they don't want to dig themselves into a 4-1 hole and have to try and come back from it. It was definitely a really bad loss, especially to a lower team like the Ducks. But still, really good game there from the Ducks as they now have back-to-back wins. They'll be looking to make it a 3-game winning streak in their next game. Then we saw the Montreal Canadiens blow a 2-0 lead, only to win in overtime 3-2 over the Winnipeg Jets. They have the most OT wins this year by any NHL team, so the Canadiens are like the OT kings at this point in time. For the Montreal Canadiens, they were able to improve to 14-13-4. They're back above 500. Or for the Winnipeg Jets, they're down to 18-9-3. Not great stuff there, but still a really solid point total there for the Winnipeg Jets, even though they do lose in overtime. Anderson had a goal and an assist, while Baron, who had the OT winner, and Dvorak also scored for the Canadiens in the win, while Velarde and Perfetti were the 2 goal scorers for the Jets in the OT loss. So really good game there from both sides. Both teams really did good, but was the Montreal Canadiens coming with the victory. Then we saw the Dallas Stars blow 2-0 and 3-1 leads. The Kraken once again showed their resiliency, tie the game up. It was 3-3 going to overtime, but then this goal here in overtime from Thomas Harley was able to get the Dallas Stars the win, as the Stars would improve to 18-4 and once again climbed the Central Division standings, while the Kraken dropped to 10-14-9. So not great stuff there from the Kraken. Once again, they're losing a couple of games, but at least they're getting points, and these are games against really good teams, so it's good to see that the Kraken are sort of keeping in games where they shouldn't be getting points, but still really good point there for the Kraken. But the Stars do come away with a victory. Duchesne had 3 points with 2 goals and an assist. Pavelski had 2 assists. And Harley, who had the OT winner, and Robertson both also scored for the Stars in the win. While for the Seattle Kraken, Beniers and Tomas Tatar, who scored his first goal as a member of the Seattle Kraken, both had a goal and an assist, and Tolvanen also scored for the Kraken in the OT loss. So great game there from Tatar. Beniers sort of had a really good showing, but it wasn't enough to get the Kraken the win, as the Kraken do fall a little bit here. So not great stuff there, but a really solid game there from the Dallas Stars. And then lastly here, the nightcap yesterday was between the Calgary Flames and the Florida Panthers. A really good game there. The Flames were able to break a tie in the third period, scoring an insurance marker and beat the Florida Panthers 3-1. They have back-to-back wins against the Florida teams and are 1 game below 500 at 13-14-5, while the Panthers dropped to 18-11-2. So not a great game there from the Panthers. It was a really close game, winnable game, but they do wind up giving the couple of shorthanded goals to the Calgary Flames as the Flames were able to win. Not great stuff there from the Panthers. For the Calgary Flames, Backlund, Pospisil, and Coleman were 3 goal scorers for the Flames in the win, while Reinhart was a lone goal scorer for the Panthers in the loss. So Reinhart continues to be brilliant this season, scoring a lot of goals, but it was the Flames who come away with a huge victory. So really good win there for the Calgary Flames. And those are all the games that happened on Monday. That's the game recap from Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I'll go over to a quick game preview here. Those are all the games that happened over the past couple of days. We have 14 games that are going to happen over the next couple of days to look to the future to. There's going to be 11 games later today, and there are 3 games going on tomorrow, so it'll be interesting to see how these games go. For 11 games that happen later today, there's a lot of interesting action. At 4 p.m. Pacific time, the Minnesota Wild take on the Boston Bruins. Wild looking to get back up to 500. Bruins looking to reach the 20-win mark, so that'll be an interesting game. Blue Jackets take on the Sabres. Sabres looking to get to within 2 games of 500. Jackets looking to close the gap between them and the Sabres to try and close the gap so they can leapfrog them. The Golden Knights take on the Carolina Hurricanes. Canes looking to improve their point streak. Knights looking to try and become the first team to 50 points. So not tonight, but they look to try and close the gap between themselves and 50 points today, so it'll be interesting to see. Also at 4 p.m. Pacific time, we have the Devils taking on the Flyers. Devils looking to close the gap between them and the Flyers. They're 4 points back right now, so that'll be an interesting game. The St. Louis Blues take on the Tampa Bay Lightning. Both teams a game above 500, looking to avoid going back down to 500, so that'll be an interesting game. And then the Rangers take on the Maple Leafs. Last time these two played a week ago, the Leafs absolutely destroyed them. It'll be interesting to see who winds up winning this one after the Leafs win last week, so it'll be interesting to see. Then at 4:30 p.m. Pacific time, the Oilers take on the New York Islanders. Islanders looking to shrug off that loss against the Montreal Canadiens and get back to another point streak. Oilers looking to avoid getting 2 games below 500, so that'll be an interesting game. At 5 p.m. Pacific time, we have the Canucks taking on the Predators. Predators looking to get to 6 games above 500. Canucks looking to keep pace with the Vegas Golden Knights for top spot in the Pacific Division and the league. The Colorado Avalanche taking on the Chicago Blackhawks at 5:30. Blackhawks looking to get to their double-digit win mark. Avalanche looking to get to the 20 win mark, so that'll be an interesting game. At 6 p.m. Pacific time, we have the Senators taking on the Arizona Coyotes. Senators' first game with their new head coach, so that'll be an interesting game. While the Arizona Coyotes look to get to 3 games above 500 and keep the last wildcard spot in the Western Conference, so that'll be interesting. And then at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time, the LA Kings will look to keep pace with the Golden Knights and the Canucks for top spot in the Pacific Division. Taking on the San Jose Sharks, who are looking for their double-digit win mark. So it'll be interesting to see who wins there. And then there are 3 games that happen on Wednesday. Really low amount of games that happen on Wednesday. The Detroit Red Wings will play Winnipeg Jets, and the New York Islanders will play Washington Capitals at 4:30. Caps and Owls look to continue their surprising starts to the season. Red Wings looking to end this losing streak, taking on the Winnipeg Jets, who are looking to improve in the Central. And at 7 p.m. Pacific time, we have a rematch of Saturday's game between the Kraken and the Kings. Kraken looking to get revenge and improve to win over the Kings after they beat them in a shootout, while the Kings look to get yet another win and go even further ahead of the standings and sort of close the gap between them and the Canucks and the Golden Knights. So it'll be interesting to see. But those are all the games that happened over the next couple of days. So definitely going to be interesting to see how these games go. Lots of interesting stuff. Going to be a really good action. And then also going over to a quick wildcard standings update here. I'm not going to look at all the teams and how they're doing as compared to last year. I have that as a 1 week thing. So we'll sort of do that on Thursday. We'll sort of have that as like a Thursday thing. When we look at the standings on Thursday, we'll also look and see how they're compared to last year's and see which teams are sort of really doing a lot better than last year and a lot worse than last year. So I'm not going to do that today. But if you look at the standings as of December 19th, 2023, a lot of interesting stuff here in the standings. The Boston Bruins lead the Atlantic Division with 43 points, followed by 38 point Toronto and 38 point Florida. The New York Rangers lead the Metropolitan Division at 43 points, followed by 37 point Philly and 36 point New York Islanders. The 2 wildcard teams are 35 point Carolina and 34 point Washington, with 34 point Detroit, 33 point Jersey, 33 point Tampa, 32 point Montreal, 31 point Pittsburgh, 29 point Buffalo, 25 point Columbus, and 22 point Ottawa on the outside looking in right now. And then the Central Division, 40 point Dallas leads the Central Division, followed by 40 point Colorado and 39 point Winnipeg. 47 points Vegas leads the Pacific, followed by 44 point Vancouver and 38 point LA. The 2 wildcard teams are 36 point Nashville and 32 point Arizona, and they're followed by 31 point St. Louis, 31 point Calgary, 29 point Seattle, 28 point Minnesota, 27 point Edmonton, 24 point Anaheim, 21 point San Jose, and 19 points Chicago. And those are the standings as of right now, as of December 19th, 2023. So definitely let me hear your guys' thoughts on all of this down in the comment section. That's all I'm going to talk about for today. Which are the games that we've seen over the past couple of days did you think were the most exciting? Any of the games on Saturday, Sunday, Monday? Definitely love to hear your guys' thoughts on that. What do you think about the games that are going to be happening over the next 2 days? Any sort of interesting games that you're looking forward to? And what do you think about the standings? Are you surprised Arizona's still in the playoff spot? Are you surprised now Edmonton's 5 points out of a playoff spot? Are you surprised the Flames will sort of close the gap a little bit to a playoff spot? Are you surprised that Winnipeg, Dallas, and Colorado are separated by 1 point? Are you surprised that Philly's currently second, the Owls are third, the Capitals are in a playoff spot, second wildcard spot? Are you surprised that Tampa's out of a playoff spot right now? Definitely, I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on all of those things down in the comment section. But that's all I'm going to talk about for today. Once again, don't forget to like this video and subscribe down below. We have hit 200 subscribers. Thank you for all your support. I would never be able to without you guys. Don't forget to continue to subscribe so we can hit 250 subscribers. I also do a blog talking about news, rumors, analysis, stuff like that. So definitely check that out. I'll leave the link down in the description below. And I can't wait to see you guys all for our next video. See you guys soon.